Quite a while ago, I signed up for the GMT Game Jam 2025. And for the people who don't know what a game jam is, it's just a competition where you make games. And in this year's GMT Game Jam, over 9,000 people submitted a project. So I have a lot of competition. And without further ado, let's get started. And this year's theme for the GMT Game Jam was loop. The first thing that I thought of after hearing the theme was time loops. I spent a long time thinking how I could do a game with time loops. The first idea that I thought of for a game was a procedurally generated mining game where you'd leave your base, which wasn't affected by the time loop, and you have to go out and get resources and get back before the time looped. But then I thought of an even better idea. I thought that if objects inside the home base were unaffected by the time loop, and if an object from outside was brought into the home base, then when the time looped, it would be duplicated outside, and then you'd have two of the same object. One inside the base and one outside. And I thought that'd be a very interesting and unique puzzle mechanic. To start the game, I added a simple player with movement and a jump. And I also gave him the ability to pick up and drop cubes. Eventually I added it so that when you press a certain key, the cube gets reset back to its original position. I also added that if the cube is in the safe zone, aka the trophy, it won't get resetted but instead cloned, and there'd be one inside the safe zone and one at its original start position. But when I did this, I ran into a problem where the cube would just clone itself indefinitely, and I'd have to fix that. I realized the issue that caused the glitch was that the cube would keep creating copies of itself when it was loop protected. I fixed this glitch by checking if the object was a clone before resetting it, and if it was a clone, then I destroyed the object. After those changes, it works perfectly fine now. I then got to work on some art to improve the look of the game. The main character's a little spaceman. After that, I added a little tutorial section with text that explained how to play. I also added a dialogue system so the player can learn mechanics of the game and lore. I added a prototype level where you have to clone cubes to stack them up to get to the top. And I also added a fizzler object that'll destroy cubes when it touches them. After I'd finished the fizzler, I went to work and created 7 levels. Then after that, I quickly made a main menu and I was done. The game was finished. The 2 main issues I have about my game is the art, which took up a lot of time for development and doesn't actually look that good, so I should have just done pixel art instead. And the other thing I don't like about the game is the time loop mechanic should have been a power instead of on a timer, but I don't know what I was thinking, because it would have been a lot better if it was just a power the player could activate at any time.